Hey everybody, Brandon from the Vancouver Pups here with another workshop to work on. And today, what I'm hoping we can do is work on Oko's dancing legs. So at this point now, I've had an opportunity to debut the dancing Oko for a couple different performances. And overall, I'm really happy with it. It's really been a lot of fun performing with this guy. So this is the one that has the shoes that are attached with sticks that I use to manipulate his feet. Then I operate his hands with these strings that I use with this. Yeah, so it's going really well, but I think it can do better. Now that I've had some chance to kind of do some stuff with him and sort of look at it, I can see the flaws we can work on. And the biggest complaint I have is the legs. So you see how his legs are here right now? See how they're kind of like bending backwards? They shouldn't be doing that. I have already implemented some features to try and prevent that from happening, but it's kind of still happening anyway. So it's something that we're going to be tackling today. Yeah, it should be really good. So hopefully we can get this guy really walking around and look a little bit better. Because right now his legs are just, the knees are just really floaty. Yeah, they should really only bend in one direction like our legs do, like real legs. So that's going to be the plan today, all right? So the first thing we're going to do is take our dancing Oko, and I'm going to put him onto the workstation here. And yeah, we're just going to take these legs apart and work on them. But before we do that, actually, I'm going to show you a little collection of legs I have here. Let's just go briefly through the history of these legs that I went through, just to show you how we got to where we are. So yeah, let's get to that right now. All right, so here's the different stages that we've gone through now. We have basically the past, present, and future here. So this is the foam. So this is what the inside foam for Oko's leg looks like. Basically for the hand puppet, this is what I use, and it's basically a tube that's attached at one end with contact cement and then a little notch cut out so that it sort of wants to bend this way a little bit. And for the most part, that works fine. It doesn't work very good for a marionette. Yeah, I only use that for the hand puppet, but I did at one point try this, but I quickly realized I really do need to have the segments, solid segments in, you know, the parts of the leg to really make it move properly when it's bending, mainly when it's in movement. I mean, for the hand puppet, and, you know, I can do something, I can get away with something like this when he's just stationary. So after I originally tried that, when I first made this puppet, then I moved on to this. And these are the legs that I use in the marionette. And these are basically the segments that I like. And they're attached with little O-rings. And that's it. And then I tried that, and for a while I was doing that. And it worked pretty well, because these do only bend at the knee, which is what I want. But again, I was noticing that it was like floating around a little bit too much. There's too often I would have Oko's leg going in the wrong direction, bending in the backwards, and it just looked unnatural, and it just sort of like ruined the illusion quite a bit. So this was an idea that I came up with. I kind of thought, well, what if I had some sort of support, a flexible support on the back that was still sturdy in one, and when it was sturdy when it's tight at least, and that would prevent it from going in a certain direction. So this is a piece of leather that I attached and tacked it down with these tacks. Because the whole idea here was so that I could put this in the back leg of Oko and it wouldn't be able to bend forward. And it sort of works. Like I can actually even look, it'll actually even like the leather strap, the tension from the leather strap will actually hold the leg. But it still bends a little bit. There's still a bit of a bend, as you can see. But again, his legs are just floating around too much at the knee, and I really want it to be more sturdy. So here we are. So this brought us to the newest model, which we're going to be implementing today. So this is a design. I better get her information. Hold on a sec. Yeah, all right. So the design for these I found on a YouTube channel called Puppets by Arlee. So definitely check out her video, and I'll even put a link to her video in the video description, because yeah, she's a great marionette maker, and she seems like a really nice lady. So yeah, definitely check out her channel. This is her. I credit her for this design. I didn't come up with this concept on my own. Yeah, so that was a really good video, and I'll show you the parts here briefly, because I still have to implement the other leg. But this is going to be the new leg we're going to try of Oko. So this is the thigh, and this is the shin, and basically you can see it can't really go forward, can't go left or right. I can a little bit, but not very much. But then it does bend that way. So I'm not sure if this is going to work better or not. I'm hoping that it does. I like this design. It was simple and it was not too difficult to do. Yeah, so I'll briefly show you how I made this now by putting the other leg together. All right, so as I mentioned, for more information on this design and how to construct this, check out the video by Puppets by Arlee. All right, so here's the pieces, the 3 pieces we need in order for this to go together. So here is the thigh, which has a portion shaved off and an O-ring sticking out, a nice sturdy thick O-ring. Here is the shin that also has a part shaved down, and then it has a slit in the middle that will accommodate the O-ring, and then there's also a drill hole that goes through, that will go through the O-ring. All right, so just put those together, and then here is a wire. All the way through, and then bend it down. And then this is just duct tape. I just used some duct tape because, yeah, these are going to be, well, let's test it first. I should test it as well, make sure that looks good. So there we are. That's not bending forward, it bends back, so perfect. Nice and strong. So I just wanted these wires to be duct taped down, mainly just to protect them, the ends, because this has to eventually be put into the fabric tube of Oko's leg, and we don't want it, the wires, to be catching on anything. All right, so there's our 2 legs, guys. Here's Oko's new dancing legs. Hopefully these move a little bit more like a real living thing with legs. But we're gonna find out. So the next step is to get the fabric off of, I'll just take the legs right off, I think. And yeah, just so that we can work on, isolate the legs and work on them separately. So that's the next step. So we'll just get the legs on the table and start taking the fur off. All right, so here are the legs. Here's the feet. See, here's the shoe, and it's attached with glue underneath. And it goes right into the bottom of Oko's feet. And that's how I make him dance, by dancing with my own feet. But we want to switch these legs, so I'm going to start by also taking off the hair from the legs. It's easy enough to re-sew it. It's easy enough to re-sew Oko's fur back on. Yeah, so there it is. So there was the design I was telling you about before. So I had that little tendon here on the back, thinking that that would stop it from bending back, but it still bends back a little bit. I don't know. Even this one does seem to also bend back a little bit. Or maybe not. Yeah, this one is a lot better, isn't it? All right, so there we are. So now I want to take off the legs. Let me just think here. I would like to keep the O-rings attached to the feet just so that I don't have to worry about trying to get them back in. So I think the easiest way is just going to be to unscrew these. Yeah. Let's just keep all the O-rings attached. And I don't know, we'll have to see how this technique works, and if it works well, we might also want to think about adding little joints at areas like this and at the top of the legs to kind of control the direction they move as well. Although I'm not too worried about them. All right, so I'm going to save these legs for another day. They could be useful for something. These work a lot better for the marionette, I'll say. Like, there's not a problem with the marionette, because the marionette, the legs get pulled by the strings, so they always sort of like move the way I want them to and look the way I want. The marionette legs very rarely look wonky because I'm sort of like pulling them, telling them where to go, and so, but for this dancing, they just seem to be all over the place. But anyway, we're gonna fix this up. We're gonna start getting this looking pretty good. All right, so now the next step is going to be to attach these to the O-rings. All right, there's the first one. Went in. I pre-drilled little holes so that this would go easier. That was definitely a smart decision. Oops. All right, so there we go. I have to be careful how I position these screws because I want it to basically, yeah, be resting in a forward position, the knee bend. So I think it will be by hanging it like this. All right, good. All right, so now I'll put the fur back on. Fur, and the fur goes downwards, of course. I use 2 different dowels in order to make these legs. So the thigh is actually just a touch wider than the shin segment, but I don't think that would matter. I mean, I just think that might even, if anything, add to the realistic effect, because the top part of the thigh part of our legs are thicker than the shins. So yeah, I was able to just use up pieces. All right. So let's pull that down, and I'll just sew that later. Okay, good. That's basically it. We're basically done. This is going really quickly. So now all I have to do is just attach these ends back to the body, and I left the O-rings attached to the body. So all I have to do is just the same thing. So I'll just do that off camera, and then I'll hand sew these fur parts back down at the where the foot meets the leg and the leg meets the body. And then that's it. And then we'll have a new set of legs that we can try out. So let's just see how it goes. All right, so here's the puppet looking so far. I've sewn the fabric here at the feet, and now I've attached the legs here at the body. And now all I have to do is pull up this fabric and hand sew the fabric here. So I'm going to do that right now, and then we will do a little walk around and do a little test and see how everything's feeling and looking. All right, so what do you think? Try and walk see how this looks. Is it better? I don't know. What do you guys think? Let's go this way. I'm just holding his hands up for right now, and obviously at this point, oh, no. Let's see. And of course, normally I would be wearing my fully black outfit. Anyway, interesting, huh? I'm pretty, I don't know. I mean, it's worth trying. I don't know if I see the biggest difference. I also got to practice my walking. I'm worried, I think I'm a little worried about the right leg. I'm not sure. What happens if we... Might have to do some other slight adjustments. But I don't know, overall I think it's okay. It's quieter. It's definitely quieter with these new joints than it was with all the O-rings, with all that. There's still some metal clacking around. There's the metal wire that... There's the metal wire that connects with the O-ring in there, but it's muffled by the wood. It sort of all happens within the walls, thick walls of wood. Dowel. All right, well, I mean, there you go, guys. There's a new set of legs to work with, and I think it's better. I don't know. Right leg, left leg. The left leg looks a little strange, huh? The right leg seems to be going forward. I don't know, I might need to just tweak them a little bit. Yeah, it should be going forward, but they're kind of going in weird directions. Guess it has to go somewhere, left or right. Oh. All right, well, there we go, guys. I hope you found this workshop informative today. I'm really happy with how the legs look here, although I did do a little tweaking, I think, to get them really going the right way, but they sort of seem to have new life to them, so I'm really happy. So the next time we get an opportunity to do a little song and dance number, we'll be able to show off our new legs here. Let's see how we'll do some practicing and see if we can get them looking pretty darn good. All right, so that's great, guys. Thanks for watching this workshop with the Vancouver Pups. We'll see you on the next one, all right? Bye for now.